this arrived from Coach, quite a large box, sooner than expected. And I thought I'd finish the video. I took the, do excuse the noise from the aircon heating reverse cycle, whatever you call it. Anyway, I took the camera down to him indoors, you know, because he does my editing very kindly. And he said, oh, there appears to be the beginning of the video is missing. And because, as my doctor says, I am pathologically honest, and if you're new to this channel, by the way, hi, I'm Kaz. I'm 5 foot nothing, literally. That's 152 centimetres in new money. And I have loved fashion for over 50 years, especially handbags. They are my weakness. Anyway, because I'm pathologically honest, I have to tell you that for some reason, the first half of the video did not film. So although the red light was on the camera, it was not recording. Why? I don't know. I wish I knew. Do I feel like throwing that camera at the wall, out the window, or under a bus at the moment? Yes, I do. And I'm just being pathologically honest. However, I didn't just want to carry on as if nothing had happened, because I have a compulsion to tell the truth. And so you will see the bag probably wrapped in a slightly different manner than it will be later on in the video, because I've had to re-wrap it. Anyway, Coach have just released a new, what's it called, Loved Leather. And this evening I have a Coach Loved Leather bag for you. And it is in the colour black brown, and I will unbox it again for the second time. Honestly, it's so funny, because about halfway through this video, in the bit that actually was recording, I said, you know, it's been one of those days, and it really has. And it has continued to be one of those days, but look, we all have them, and what can you do? Except just carry on, really. Okay, so ribbon off, lid off, and there is the bag. I do wish that aircon thing would be quiet. Seriously, it never ever does that, except for when I'm filming. I mean, why do these things happen? I don't know. All I can say is that life remains a total mystery to me. I have lived for 70.5 years now, and still I haven't quite figured it out. Whether I ever will, anyway, there's a Coach bag for you to look at here. And let's zoom you out a bit, and I'll take it out of its dust bag for the second time this evening. Oh dear, I'm sorry guys, but I really just couldn't carry on as if nothing had happened, because like I said, I just have to be truthful. I cannot help it. I really can't. I am just honest to a fault. And trust me, on so many occasions in my life, it has not done me any favours, trust me. Okay, we have the Coach dust bag. Out of it we have, now I have wrapped this as best as I could, but it does look slightly different from later in the video, for the reasons which I've already mentioned. Now, the thing that so going to fall out with that air conditioning reverse cycle heating thingy unit in a moment. The first thing that strikes me, and oh, honestly, yeah, it has been quiet all day, that thing. The thing that strikes me first is this, and the stitching that you can see from the pocket that no doubt will be inside the bag. Things like that annoy me because I have, as well as being pathologically honest, I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I mean, it is a real thing. I know people joke about it and say, oh God, you're so OCD because, you know, whatever, you know, you do this or you do that. But it is a real thing. And do you know what? I so wish I didn't have it. Because if my coat hangers aren't facing exactly the same way round and, you know, the books aren't exactly lined up in my cupboards, it's all those little things. Trust me, it makes life really, really difficult. Anyway, sorry, this is not a tale of woe. It is a luxury unboxing, well, a luxury in inverted commas. It is indeed the Brooklyn shoulder bag 28 in love leather, and in Australia this costs 650 Australian dollars. Now, if you live in the US, you're probably going to think, oh my goodness, that sounds like an awful lot of money. Well, you've got to remember, guys, that our Australian dollar has fallen off the edge of a cliff. I mean, it has just tanked ridiculously. I mean, a few years ago, our dollar was a little bit stronger than the US dollar. Now, the US dollar is worth, I think, about $1.52 in Australian dollars. And the Great British Pound is now over $2 to Australian dollars to the pound. So, you know, if you've been watching the exchange rates at all, you'll know, excuse me, that is really bad. So everything in Australia is now costing an awful lot of money. And because of that, and because I've turned over a new leaf this year, I've really decided to be sort of super critical about bags that I'm buying. And I'm not just doing that to be picky, I'm doing it because I have ended up with so many bags in my dressing room that I just have never used. You know, still have the tags on, still have the stuffing in, never used, and 2 years later, you know, they're no longer the it bag and I get at best half of what I paid for them. So I decided this year to be really, really strict with myself and just be very objective about the bags that I buy. And so, like I said, on first sight, that annoys me. Now, if it annoys me now, then if I decide to keep this bag, I'll pick it up and look at the back of it and go, oh, that's really annoying. And I know when it's on the shoulder you can't see it, but I know it's there. Anyway, let's have a look at the Brooklyn 28. Now, first of all, this leather feels a bit sort of, for a slouchy sort of hobo type bag, it feels a bit stiff, but then it's still packed at the moment and it's got cardboard, etc., inside, so, you know. The leather is gorgeous, it feels divine. I love that sort of look of the worn leather. You can see it, especially on these side panels here. I say side panels, I don't quite know what they're called, but you know, the ends of the handle here. I love that sort of worn look. It's like a bag that you've had for years and years, and the colour's sort of wearing off a bit. It's lovely and it's a great idea, and I really do like Coach bags, and I mean they are fairly new to me, fairly new on my radar. They've not been huge in Australia until fairly recently, and I think that's just because designer prices have just gone up to such ridiculous levels that people are looking for cheaper alternatives, and why not? This is the Loved leather, and the colour is black brown, so it looks more of a sort of very dark brown to me, and to worn off to a sort of mid brown here. And on first inspection, I have to say that I'm not sure about this bag. And like I said, I've made a pact with myself. You know, one of my New Year resolutions was to be much more objective about bags that I buy rather than subjective. Because I used to think, oh goodness, I can't return another bag, you know. I'm sure I like this one, you know, I can use it whenever on this occasion, that occasion. I never do. It'll be there 2 years later, like I said, with the tags on, and you sell it for half the price. And I'm just not prepared to do that anymore, because it is quite ridiculous. And I would much sooner put the money towards the bag that I really, really love. And first impressions of this, I don't really, really love it. It has a lot of charms here. It has the, hold on, let me zoom you in a bit. Now, there's this bit of leather, sort of just, you know what I mean, it's got 3 little metal sort of dots on the end there. And it's just sort of hanging there. Luggage tag, that's fine, you know, the C for coach, grand. There's a key, fine. The tag on the bag, the coach tag, is wrapped. And there's this, which it's just, it's got sort of the old school type coach fastening on. Now that's the same sort of fastening that was on my little denim patchwork tote that I bought recently. It is a gorgeous little coach bag. That one's destined for the beach this summer. It's absolutely gorgeous, love it. This one, it's got a sort of an O-ring. It's this O-ring here. I think maybe that's to put a key on. And then you know, can sort of fasten it away in this little leather pouch, but I'm not sure. Sorry, even the Zoom thing is on a go slow this evening. Anyway, the Loved leather I absolutely love. So it's as good as its name, it is Loved leather. The style of this bag, I'm just not sure. The handle is looking a bit wide for me, but you know, as I said, I am literally 5'0", and I have quite a petite frame, so I have quite narrow shoulders, and this strap just looks a little bit too wide. So we shall see. Let's have a look at the bag itself. Goodness me, it's got everything in. It's got cardboard inside the handle. Okay, so take that off. Oops, okay. here. I'll fast forward through this bit so you don't have to sit and watch me doing all the painful unpacking. Right, it has cardboard, that sort of foamy stuff. On the other side it has cardboard, that sort of foamy stuff. Right, we've got desiccant in the bottom. Well, it's obviously packing on something. Okay, so we've got 2 desiccant things. We have a bit of packing over magnet now. Oh, actually that's good because that magnet is quite strong. I was a bit worried about that. Because I do remember on the other Brooklyn, there was a problem with the magnets. I think Dee Dee had a problem with her Brooklyn. I think she had to send it back because the magnet was quite weak. Talking of Dee Dee, lovely lady. Her YouTube channel is Dee Dee Bean. I'll put her details in the description box below. Do please go and have a look at her channel, and please do subscribe. She's trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, and she is a lovely lady. And she was so kind to me when I started YouTube that, you know, just really, she didn't have to be, but she was just lovely, and she's just that sort of person. So do please help her out and get her to 2,000 subs. Right, now, this, I see, having complained before that it was too rigid and not soft enough, it now seems quite sort of floppy but insubstantial, do you know what I mean? It's got these things on here are so heavy, it's like, wow, you know? I assume one can take them off. Seemingly. Right, I haven't exactly got the best thing on to try it on my shoulder. Right, I shall de-shrug myself. Oh my goodness, the bits that is coming off this shrug is unbelievable. Okay, so that's it on the shoulder. And for some reason it doesn't really want to sit on my shoulder very well. I think if I had something in it, you know, if I had something heavier in it, I'll just go and grab something. You would not believe the mess everywhere from these bits. Anyway, this is my catch-all, and basically it has everything in it. I just basically transfer this from bag to bag. You know, it's got a mirror, card holder, business cards, little zipped up tote, some makeup, mask, tissues, pills, yeah, just like everything I need in here. So if this fits in, it's a good sign, because I really like to just be able to take this out of one bag and put it straight in another one. So hopefully, oh, that fits perfectly. Okay, now it might sit on my shoulder better with, oh, it does. Okay, so with the weight in, it sits on my shoulder. It's a little bit wide, but I do have really, really narrow shoulders. And the leather's a bit sort of slippery, you know what I mean? But the leather is nice, that sort of, you know, that loved leather look. You've got that sort of burnished leather look, which is actually really nice and feels nice as well. You can see it better on here. But although this sits better on my shoulder now, it's got something in it, it doesn't exactly feel secure, do you know what I mean? It's sort of, it's one of those bags that I'll be hitching up on my shoulder all the time. But it's a good size, really. I mean, it looked a bit small when I first opened it, but I don't know, I'll just put the shedding shrug back on. It's a tad cold this evening. I haven't taken the packing off all of these because I'm not I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I like the loved leather look. There's something about this strap on my shoulder, it just doesn't sit very well. I don't know whether there's a slight angle on it or, you know, it is quite slippery underneath. But one thing I really don't like about this bag and is this bit here, you know. And this is obviously because inside there's, oops, the magnet's good though, I'll give it that. It's because inside, oh, it's not a pocket that flaps. You see the pocket here that has a, oops, that has a press stud on it. So obviously on the back, that's the other side of the press stud. But in here, there's a pocket there, which is a good size. You can see it well there. But because this bag isn't really lined, I think that's just the reverse of the leather. Or it might just be something that's bonded onto it. It might be sort of a microfiber. Yeah, it might be microfiber fabric that's bonded onto it. But, you know, because if bags are lined, you sew those pockets, you know, onto the lining basically, and then you don't see all of that on the outside. And look, I know it's only, well, I say only, I mean, I think any amount of money at the moment is, you know, too much money. It's $650 and it's described as that, right, the Brooklyn is an elegant minimalist silhouette with distinctly New York attitude. Smaller than the 39, I think that's a given. The hobo style is crafted of buttery soft glove tan leather, specially treated with a rub-off technique to reveal the base colour for a love-worn look. Featuring a spacious interior with a snap pocket for access to essentials, the streamlined 28 has a comfortable wide shoulder strap. That's what I think the problem is for me, you know, the width of the shoulder strap, just a tad too much. An easy magnetic snap closure, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that closure at all. Really easy to open and close. That bit's fabulous. And it's finished with a cluster of distinctive coat charms. Each bag is unique with no two exactly alike and will continue to develop more character over time. Now, if you are interested in this bag, and I'll just give you the dimensions of it now. Okay, so it's 11 inches across, 11 inches high, or 28 centimetres and 28 centimetres. The width across here, 8 centimetres or 3¼ inches. And it's made of rub-off glove tan leather. The handle has got a 10.5-inch drop, or 27 centimetres. Inside there's a snap pocket, which I've just shown you, and the magnetic snap closure, which closes really well. To be honest, I look at it and I don't know if I see $650 there. You know what I mean? I mean, I know our dollar is pretty rubbish at the moment and, you know, doesn't buy a lot, but even so, you know, $650, it's still a fair amount of money for, it's quite a small leather bag. It's quite nice and light. The only thing that isn't light are all these things hanging off it, the key, the C, what I think is I think that's a little key pocket there, and I'm still intrigued about this. If anybody's got any ideas what this random piece of leather is for, do please let me know in the comments down under. I would love to know. It just doesn't feel substantial enough, do you know what I mean? And I don't think I can cope with that on the back, as well as the stitching for the pocket. I know it's, you know, when it's on, it's sort of, you know, obviously you can't see it, but if you didn't have OCD, it probably wouldn't bother you at all. But if you do have OCD, and you're like me, it bothers me. Therefore, I have learnt from previous feelings like that, when I've thought it bothers me, and then I've thought, when it's on you can't see it, so it'll be all right. And no, I've done that before, and I just cannot keep doing that, because $650, no, I just can't. So sorry, Coach. I'm really loving a lot of my Coach bags. Oh goodness, the Coach Empire 28 that I have, I absolutely adore. Now that I really do see as, never mind having the money in it, it looks to be really, really good value. I mean, if anything, that bag to me looks underpriced. It is a beautiful bag, and I love the little denim tote as well that I unboxed fairly recently. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put that one up here for you. Oh, and also, if you haven't seen my other half, him indoors, picking his 3 favourite and his 3 least favourite of my bags and critiquing them, if you haven't seen that, you really, really should. It is so funny. You know, if you want a good laugh, if all this stuff that's going on around the world, it's just getting a bit too much, and you just want to lose yourself for, you know, 25 minutes or so and laugh. Check it out. Seriously, him indoors is so funny. He's very straight-faced, and I'm very not straight-faced. So, love the leather, really do. I'm afraid for this evening, this one is a fail and will be returned to Coach. I'm very diligent about my returns now. In fact, I keep a spreadsheet, so I keep track of what date it was sent back, whether the postage was free or whether I paid for the postage, you know, what the return conditions are, etc., etc. It's all there, so I never miss a beat. That's with my accountant's hat on. With my handbags hat on, I still sit here and look at it and I think, but I like that. I really do like that sort of pre-loved sort of look. But no, it has to be a no. Okay, so I think I've started this year, and I've continued this year, to be a bit more sensible than usual. I've sold a lot of bags. I know I've bought quite a few, but I've actually sold twice as many as I've bought. And I'm slowly curating the collection down. I mean, I will always love bags. Come what may, handbags and I will always be best friends. I mean, that's just the way it is. And if you love bags and you've enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would. It means an awful lot to me. And if you have subscribed, thank you. So, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and as always, à bientôt mes amis, au revoir et bonsoir.